Fake Nerd Girl here, and I'm here today to talk about a book by Anne Peterson, Too Fat, Too Slutty, Too Loud. Too Fat, Too Slutty, Too Loud, The Rise and Reign of the Unruly Woman. This, just so everyone knows, is a non-spoiler, oh wait, it's completely spoiler-filled. Anyway, this is a discussion of the book Too Fat, Too Slutty, Too Loud. What this book basically is an essay form of 11, there's 10 chapters. Abby and Alana from Broad City are combined into one. Not the characters, the people who created the series, who they name their characters their names. A lot easier, right? But this book focuses on why they're unruly, why we love to hate them, and what unruliness means, particularly around the conversation we have about these women. Like I said before, spoilers all around. The biggest point of the book, I think, is best said in one of the very last chapters. It says, this book is really about who says what is or is not ladylike. Who is the one who creates the rules for what is acceptable behavior for women. And women are deemed unruly because they don't fit that acceptable behavior. Or they fit it sometimes, but not all the time, and it's really hard because, my second point, women exist in some really hard spaces. In our media, in our cultural landscape, a lot of people cry that people have gone too far. They're too much. The writer suggests that sometimes they might think to themselves that I'm too much. And really it's just like the cultural landscape being reflected back at them, because that's what's saying they're too much. And as a woman right now who has had that happen to her, she's been told that she's too much, she's been told that she's too loud, she's been told that her laugh is too much, it's hard for me, and probably a lot of other women and girls out there to be told that, because we're just trying to be our most authentic self. And I don't mean that in the Instagram, hashtag true aesthetics, hashtag authentic, though that's great too if that's really you. I mean we're just trying to be who we are, and it's hard. And this book really gets at the heart of that. Another really big point, probably the third big point of the book, is that when women traverse into the male sphere, that is when they're considered unruly. One of the best examples in the book is Hillary Clinton. I wish that I could go into every argument there is in this book about Hillary Clinton and the candidacy for her to be president of the United States. But I don't have the time. Basically, what you need to know is that, there's only been male presidents in this country. So the culture and our society has started to believe, that is what a leader is. They are male, their voice is deeper, they present a certain way, and it's really hard for people to change their minds about what a leader who's a woman could look like. For example, the one subtle difference that Annie talks about in her book is that, the reason why people think she's too shrill is because of her voice is feminine. It's just higher than a man's voice, and because a man's always been president, we've always associated a deeper voice with authority and power. And that sort of takes away some of Hillary's own power, and it's not something that we mean to do, or something that necessarily we're conscious of, her voice doesn't sound like a leader's, because to us a leader's have always been male. Another thing that I think Peterson does especially well is the fact that she talks a lot about the intersections that play into why these women are perceived as unruly. The prime example of that is the very first chapter of Serena Williams. Serena is a beautiful black woman who, frankly, went into a sport that's predominantly white, and it was really hard for her to be perceived as, someone who wasn't unruly because she was already breaking the big stereotype of, what a tennis player looks like, but she was also, a little bit more male than her competitors. The author uses a lot of different articles to explain her point, or a lot of different headlines to explain her point about these certain things. And for Serena Williams, it was she's having a hissy fit, she is having, oh, she's too angry. And then the author compared this to with men on the same side of the tennis court, right? LOL. But she she compared this, and like the men who fight in tennis matches are not even, they're not called, you know, unsportsmanlike. They're not saying that they're having a hissy fit. It's merely because she was a woman in this space, and women are not supposed to get angry in their sport profession. And we have a long history of men, you know, arguing with refs and all these different things, but the moment Serena does it, she gets called for it, and people don't like that. Another thing about this chapter that was particularly interesting was the whole buzz around her 2002 tennis outfit, which was perceived to be like a latex dominatrix outfit. Even though it was spandex, she could move in it, it was something that made her feel powerful, but people tore it apart because it wasn't what they thought a woman in tennis should wear. Once again, this goes back to the original idea that who is saying what's ladylike and what's unladylike. What's the point, Meg? You know, where are we going on this big thing? And I think at the very end of the book, the author does a great job of talking about, you know, we shouldn't demonize a woman who is unruly in a way that we don't think a woman should be. They're living their life, and we don't have to judge them. But these women are breaking down the norms that might hold some other woman later down the line back. And it's really important that we don't demonize them, or we say, why are they doing that? You know, if you don't like Madonna dressing like a young lady, which is another like thing in this book. Overall, I would highly recommend this book to anyone. I think it's been the best book I've read all year. Granted, I haven't read that many books this year because I just finished my college degree and I was reading a lot of college books. But I have to leave you with like the parting words that the author gave at the very end of the book, because I think it is so true. Unruly women are living by their own rules, and in the end, isn't that all what we want to be able to do? So keep that in mind. I'll see you around. Thanks for watching. Like if you want, subscribe if you want. Have a good day.